Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. We have a breaking news story that is making its way across the internet as we speak that is causing quite a bit of commotion, and there's a lot of mystery surrounding this. So bear with me, I'll explain it all, and hopefully we will get some more information as it comes in. But again, there's a lot of mystery and something's not adding up here. On May 3rd, the residents of the city of Yorkshire over England began hearing these massively loud booms. So loud, in fact, that they thought it was a nuclear bomb or that World War III had started. These loud booms in the sky, literally rocking, literally causing massive vibrations on the ground. And I've actually gotten some emails corroborating this from people who live in Yorkshire. And by the way, this is also a public news story. You can find it on the BBC news website. You can find it on multiple online news outlets. However, I believe that there's a cover-up going on here. And I'm not the only one. This has also been reported. So these people hear these loud booms, and they find out that these are actually the sonic booms being created by a fleet of fighter jets, British fighter jets, that were scrambled and had flown out over the ocean from the RAF Collingsby in Lincolnshire in order to intercept a, quote, mysterious object that, according to sources who were both out in the ocean and near it, and as well as some Russian sources who basically have leaked information about this and have stated that there's actually a report circulating in the Ministry of Defense in Russia talking about this, that basically they saw a mysterious object appear on radar that rose out of the ocean, and these fighter jets were scrambled, causing sonic booms. I mean, these things were hauling ass, causing these booms that were so loud that residents from Leeds, York, Harrogate, and Doncaster, England, were all witnesses to this happening, and were basically stricken with panic because they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know if bombs were being dropped. So basically, these jets flew out over the ocean and, according to reports, circled this unidentified object that had come up out of the ocean. And as you're seeing from this radar image here, which has actually been provided online and has been featured on the website whatdoesitmean.com, who has also reported on this story, you can basically see here that these jets are circling something. You can see the way they're flying in circles and are definitely surrounding something. So directly after this has happened, and there's actually videos online by people who recorded these sonic booms as they were happening, and you can Google that and check those out. But apparently, about 15 minutes after this event occurred, the British government issued a DA notice, or what is called a Defense Advisory Notice, basically making it illegal for any news agency to report or release any of the facts or information about what had occurred. And then, just 7 hours later, quickly put out a cover story and said there's nothing to worry about, that it was just a Air France airliner that had been experiencing some minor communication issues with their radio equipment, and that's the reason they scrambled these fighter jets that hauled ass over the town of Yorkshire, scaring the living hell out of the residents, just so they could go out into the ocean and escort this European airliner to land. So that's the cover story. Now, I have received an email from multiple people that day, from people who had not only heard the sonic booms and saw these jets being scrambled and hightailing it out into the ocean, but I also received a message from a fisherman who was out on his boat, who said that he was about half a mile away from where these fighter jets had began circling in the ocean, and he said plain as day, whatever it was these fighter jets were circling, it was not an airliner. Now, according to reports, once the jets confronted whatever this object was that rose out of the ocean, it disappeared. And the source who saw the jets circling, albeit from far away, said that whatever it was they were circling, it was circular in shape, it was fast, it was moving fast before vanishing. And he saw these jets circling it. Now, some have said that this has something to possibly do with the Baltic Sea anomaly. And if you don't know what the Baltic Sea anomaly is, the anomaly is this massive 60-meter in diameter circular object that was found on the ocean floor in the northern Baltic Sea, which was discovered by Peter Lindberg, Dennis Asberg, and their Swedish Ocean X diving team in June 2011. And you're seeing an image of that here. This massive circular ship, it looks like. I mean, it is a craft, and it's a very amazing topic. I highly suggest you head over. They have a YouTube channel. It's very easy to find. Look it up, and you can see their expeditions down to the ocean, the radar images of the object, and it's simply amazing. Well, some have said that this is possibly something having to do with the Baltic Sea, that there are more UFOs in the Baltic Sea, that there's something there. We've talked about this before, where we know for a fact that there has been UFO activity in our oceans, or USO, which stands for Unidentified Submersible Objects. And the fact that 95% of our oceans are uncharted, undiscovered, and we don't know what's there. We don't know what's down there. And these UFOs have been witnessed bursting out of the ocean, flying up into space, and vice versa. And it goes back to Admiral Byrd's expedition down to Antarctica, where he took a fleet of Navy ships and encountered flying saucers that bursted up out of the ocean waters and attacked them. And we've done plenty of videos showing these lights under the ocean caught by pilots flying overhead, and these things are there. There's something very mysterious going on in our oceans. And what better place for another race of beings to hide in plain sight than right in our own oceans, which most of which are undiscovered and have never been reached or seen by mankind. Furthermore, the Baltic Sea has, as of late, if you follow the news that's going on in the world, been an area of friction between Russia and the United States and its NATO allies in Europe. If you'll remember, recently there was a story about these Russian fighter jets that buzzed by one of our United States aircraft carriers in the Baltic Sea, where these two Russian Sukhoi Su-24 aircraft came within meters of the USS Donald Cook on April 11th, 2016. So all of a sudden there's a lot of tension and military activity focused on the Baltic Sea. And then we have the Baltic Sea anomaly. And I think there definitely may be something to the Baltic Sea and what's going on there that has increased this tension and this military activity. Furthermore, the Russians recently even fired a missile towards the Baltic Sea under the guise of a supposed military test, where the Admiral Grigorovich, which is the newest patrol ship in the Russian Navy, fired these missiles during this, quote, test in the Baltic Sea. So again, does this have something to do with what happened off the coast of Yorkshire? Well, here's another interesting bit of information. A month earlier, in early April, the very same thing happened off the coast of Yorkshire, where once again the residents heard these loud sonic booms and once again saw these RAF Typhoon fighter jets scrambled and sent out to, once again, as stated by the British military, to, quote, intercept another private plane that was over the Midlands that had, once again, and very mysteriously and coincidentally, had issues with its radio communication equipment. Which is exactly what happened a month later with this supposed Air France airliner. So basically, this has happened twice. It happened last month, and now it's happened again this month. And the military is holding strong that they are sending these jets, hauling ass out to the ocean, in order to escort these planes, which very mysteriously all seem to be having horrible radio transmission problems. These must be the poorest built airliners that I've ever seen. And for some reason, their radio equipment is going down right off the coast of Yorkshire and Northampton, England. 1 month after the other. So, something doesn't smell right here. I've been doing this work a long time. I know how the government works. I know how they react and cover things up, putting out these propaganda pieces and these cover stories. It just doesn't smell right. and I have confirmed testimony from people who saw these supposed UFOs. Here is another image taken in Yorkshire on the day of, in which we see a possible image of the UFO, as you're seeing here. We have this circular object. It almost looks like it's half invisible or cloaked, with lights wrapping around it, and it's just all very mysterious. So, again, we will continue digging for new information. I'm sure next month another plane will have mysterious radio communications issues that will once again scare the hell out of the residents on the coast of England and cause the military to put out yet another story that it was nothing but another plane having issues with their equipment. So again, let me know what you guys think. Big thanks to all the people I've spoken with and the sources who've emailed me and helped me out with researching this story. And again, there's not a lot of data and information just yet. These stories, that are being covered up, you have to take information as it's leaked and as you get it. So we will continue posting, but it definitely seems like there's something being covered up here. Again, a UFO has allegedly busted out of the ocean. We know that these jets have been scrambled twice. It's been posted throughout the national and international media. However, they are going with the cover story that has been given to them by the British military. So, let me know what you guys think. Be sure to stick around, share, like, and subscribe on your way out, and we'll see you back soon with much, much more. Stay safe, guys.